inspire curiosity in them. Again, getting them to see the value of their education beyond, I can get a job that makes a lot of money. If you ask students now, I ask even the students in statics, how do you see yourself? Why do you want to be an engineer? Some of them do respond with the financial benefits, but many of them talk about, I want to help this, or I want to do this. I want to work in this area. And, you ask them, what area do you want to work in and why? A lot of times it does lean towards, I want to make the world a better place. We have an awesome team of graduate students who all care about education. Some of them are aspiring to be faculty members. Some of them I'm not sure, but they're all, I think, passionate about the vision and the value that it brings to students. We were all students once.
Yeah,
right. So we know what it's like. Yeah, exactly. And that's what's great, and having the institutional support from AE3, from our department, who's provided matching funds for our project.
Oh, nice.
From the Kern Family Foundation, who's been funding this, which has that tenet of what they call the 3C entrepreneurial mindset, which I'm sure you're aware of, right? With creating curiosity, connection, and real value for our students. So going back to why, when we ask them, why are they engineering students? And they say, I want to help the world. Here's why learning this will help you.
Our long-term goal is to help students feel like the classes they're in are really well connected to one another. And we're kind of, at the very beginning of a long process, which is starting right now with basically understanding what the student experience is in terms of what classes are they taking together simultaneously. So long-term goal is we want to basically highlight connections between courses. I think there's been a lot of anecdotal evidence of students walk out of one class and forget everything they learned and walk into another class with a brand new experience, where in reality, lots of those experiences probably have overlaps in terms of content and application, where what they learn in one class could reinforce and supplement what they learn in another class. And we want to basically highlight that overlap. And to me, it seems like a relatively small ask to say, hey, all you need to do is basically highlight that connection. It doesn't even need to be a big chunk of class time. Basically just making students aware that that connection exists, which to me feels like almost low-hanging fruit, right?
Yeah.
There's this opportunity there to reinforce that connection that otherwise might go completely missed.
So what is, I guess, Cancer Scholars? It kind of ties into a lot of engineering is built around the foundation side of getting all the foundational classes, and sometimes students don't see the importance of it. So turning them into a grand challenge early on to kind of grab their curiosity and spur their intrinsic motivation and get them excited and pull them in and retain them. And the other side is, especially with cancer research, most students don't see that until graduate school.
So I wanted to ask, through your courses or through mentoring students, how do you challenge students to identify opportunities to create value for patients or healthcare systems through the work they're doing?
I would say it's a little bit less focused on the patient side for us. We've been focused on communicating our work out to the public, but the public on our side may be more our community. So we do have some translational research talks that come through, and I think that's where they see it. But the courses are 1 hour and meet once a week for the 2, and it leaves it up to them to work on in their research time, which we encourage them to get into research labs their first year. But in the sophomore class, we've been working on having them work on that lay language communication, and they take a cancer topic, research topic, and create an outreach activity for that cancer topic and have to explain the cancer connections, connect it to next-gen science standards, and be able to explain it in a way that works. And the outcome of that, we have 2 papers into ASCE right now on that with some of the cancer scholars.
Part of your project, or your entire project right now, is funded by the Kern Family Foundation and the KEEN initiative, which is to bring entrepreneurial mindset to engineering education. So can you tell us a little bit about how you're incorporating the 3 C's of curiosity, connections, and creating value into your project right now?
Good question. So So one of the experiments that we're running is, and this mostly influenced by the workshop we ran over the summer, is how to use AI to kind of integrate the entrepreneurial mindset thinking. One of the experiments that we're running this semester through the same project is to use, again, the Illinois chat. But I told you earlier that we can actually change the way the system can respond to students. So what we've done, we've asked it to interact with the students the way it used to be, but then provide an info box at the end of each response, trying to connect the response to one of the three C's. Only one that is more relevant to the response. So we've tested this in my course to begin with, and I've started to kind of run some of the prompts before we allow students to use it, and I was surprised in a way how the system connects. Of course, we provided with documents that explains what the three C's are and the habits of mind and all the documents that will allow the model to be able to kind of think carefully about basically the EM framework. And we've noticed that it is given informative feedback. So we are, in fact, just this morning, I've sent the log of prompts to the students working on this project. So this is still ongoing, and we're going to be collecting data from 5 different or 6 different courses.
Wow.
And we want to see if those prompts kind of allow students to kind of follow on some of these responses that are provided by the models. Because some of the responses will ask them to, from a curiosity perspective, to do a particular activity or to search a particular term or to kind of follow on, and some of them will be about connections. So it's just going to tell them, do you know that this topic is also involved in this other course and it taught this way? So we want to kind of motivate them into looking at, the learning perspective as they conversate with an AI agent through the lens of the EM mindset.